Hello ladies and gents, welcome to a brand new series of Anno 117 Pax Romana. I decided to make this series a bit more beginner friendly. What do I mean by that? I will try as I go through to give you some tips. Obviously I'm by no means a super expert on the matter, but I do have a few hours on this game and on the Anno series, so I feel like I know some stuff. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm going to be playing a new game. Endless mode is what most people play. It's basically, as the name suggests, you're just free to build and expand and so on. The first thing we need to do is select our portrait and our coloring scheme. Now this is purely aesthetic. I'm going to call this lady Sompius Gemius to match my channel. In terms of a banner, I would like to go blue, and I would like, let's do light blue actually, and let's do a nautical theme. I actually like the dark blue better. In terms of difficulty, obviously if you're just starting, I recommend to either go for normal or even advanced if this is not your first city building game. But what I like to do, because I played this game a couple times now, I usually start with advanced because most of the settings I like to play with are advanced. I tweak some of them just to my liking. Now I will go through some of the settings I will change, but if you just want to get right into the game, I will put a timestamp now into the video, which you can skip to, where we just start with the map. Let's go through the settings very quickly. As I said, most of these things I leave as they are. Good consumption I think is fine. Settlement cost fine. In terms of land taxes, I think I will increase that just so it makes it a bit more difficult for me. Same with the maintenance. Inactive upkeep, that's if you pause the building, I will leave as half. Construction cost refund again as half. One thing I highly recommend against is to turn this off. Even if you want to make the game super difficult, turning off the building relocation, in my opinion, not breaks the game, but destroys the immersion, because Anno is the kind of game that you build your city and after 2 hours you rebuild it and so on. So to me, if you want some difficulty, just put pay fee. In terms of incidents, I will leave it as medium. Again, incidents can get a bit annoying. For that, I like to use incident protection, which means if I manage to get to 1k of like fire safety or health safety and so on, then they won't never happen. And 1k might sound like a cheat, but to be honest, it's not that easy to get to there, and you'll see as we play through. Then we'll leave all medium. Same with this. Trade restock. Some people have argued that this is how often the NPC restocks their goods, and you can cheese the game and essentially do everything by trading. That's not my playstyle, so I'm not really bothered whether it's normal or so on. But if that's something you don't want to do, you can obviously put it as slow or so on. And the rest will leave as they are. I think, yes, we'll leave as they are. This is if we go bankrupt. I hope we don't go bankrupt, and so on. And Hall of Fame, we will have access, and I will cover it when we get started. In terms of game start, I hope this is not controversial, but I'm actually going to start with an activated starting island. This means that the game will give me the island. I don't need to explore it. Arguably, starting with the activated and finding your own island is a bit of a more original Anno experience. But to be honest, the reason I want to go with activated, I'm just going to get right into the action. Plus, I like the fact that it kind of decides that for me, so it's a bit more random how I need to plan my game. Well, if I choose my island, I tend to always go for the best island or what I think is best, and then my game kind of follows the same thing. As an example, if I'm missing grape fertility, then I need to find an island with grapes and so on. So I like this one. That's just my personal opinion. Maybe we can put this as little to make it slightly harder. And then this is same with the money. Map I always leave as covered. In my personal opinion, this breaks the whole immersion of the game if you have it all explored, because exploring the map is part of the game. Game world, I will leave as archipelago. I could try another map at some point. The only thing I will change is I will make this as large islands because I want to build big cities. And this is my world city if anyone wants to use the same one. Game content. I played before this game and I found the pirates being medium fairly okay, not difficult but not hard. I guess they're medium. So in this case, I will actually change them to hard just for a slight more difficulty, but these I will leave the same. I will be really annoyed to get lots of threats and so on, so leaving it as normal is fine. Same with Wada, I will leave as hard. Generally, I found that Wada is harder than this guy. And for those who don't know, Wada is the lady in Albion. And this guy is in LATIUM because we have two regions. For Emperor, last time I chose her, Julia Augusta. which is she's meant to be slightly easier. In this case, I'm going to go with this guy, Gnaeus Firmius Calidus, which is meant to be a bit harder. In terms of governors, I'm going to essentially leave these two, remove this guy. The reason I remove them, I don't like the easy governors too much because, in my opinion, they're too easy. Like, they ask you if you want them to settle somewhere. They're just, yeah, to me, they're too passive. But if, again, it's your first game, I recommend adding one or two of these guys or ladies in. In this case, I'm going to go with the 3 advanced ones. Why am I going with the advanced ones? Because the veteran one, I find them too aggressive. To me, if you're the kind of person who wants to do speedruns or like try and beat the AI, that's fine. But my style of game is more chill with a bit of difficulty. So having all of the advanced makes sense to me. In terms of the summary, we've got here Lady Sampius Gamius. These are my settings, which we went through into the details. And finally, these are the governors. Now, hopefully, this will be a fairly challenging, but also easy game to explain to you some of the features of the game. So let's get started.
The senatorial province of LATIUM was once Empire's beating heart. A beacon of power, decadence, the arrogance of man. Then fiery Ocassus gave voice to the gods' anger, obliterating our mortal follies. In among the ash lay a chance for humility, for change. Yet, we mortals are fickle. Hubris rises in us again, and in a new dawn's light, the question remains. Can we build a better world? Or are our past sins destined to repeat?
It's a great sunny start in the land of LATIUM, and we can already see Santa flying over the LATIUM area. But anyway, so with Anno, depending on the settings that you chose, you will almost always start with a ship, in this case the flagship. And with the flagship, you can either get it with an island, like we have here, which is the setting I chose, or you can get it with you'll get the ship in the middle of nowhere, and then you need to explore yourself and find your own island. Both playstyles are fine. In my case, I just chose to be given an island, mainly because I like to have that random aspect of I don't really have a choice, if you like. The first thing I do as soon as I start a game, I pick my flagship. We can actually change what it looks like here. Let's make it... No. Yeah, that's quite nice.
We stand waiting.
I take my flagship. I like to have it explore the map. Now, you can obviously click the map one by one using the right click. But what I like to do, I do shift right click and kind of create a path for it. And I always like to send them to the 4 corners of the map. So I send them here, then they go down here, then here and here, and then I do a bit of an X. And then maybe I come here again and do another, like, just to do it. I keep an eye, like maybe we'll encounter the pirate and stuff like that, but that gives it something to do. The last thing I select on it and I do Control 1. And I basically now, if I'm anywhere on the map and I do 1, I'll come back to it. So off it goes. Same with Santa. The first thing I like to do, or you should do in my opinion, is you need to get some building materials, and you start with timber. So in this case, I'm going to build a woodcutter. Now, the woodcutter normally requires forest around it, but because I've played this game before, through something called the Hall of Fame, which we'll cover down the line, I actually unlocked the ability to bypass this, and I can just basically put it anywhere in a meadow. So in this case, I'm going to put it here, and I see for every wood I produce, every 30 seconds, I get 1 timber with the sawmill. So I'm going to put the sawmill next to it. And why am I putting it next to my trading post? Because this trading post acts as a warehouse. Now, every industry in this game requires a warehouse to put the goods. So in this case, the wood will go into the sawmill, and the sawmill will produce timber, which will then go into the warehouse. The warehouse is like an underground treasure, if you like, around your whole island, and this is where you save your inventory, if you like. The reason I put it here and I make use of this as a warehouse is so I don't need to build another warehouse somewhere up here or so on. Because the warehouse in the beginning costs, well, it costs maintenance, as you can see, -8. And it also costs -6 workers. So in this case, I'm saving by doing this. Down the line, obviously, I will expand, but first, because we are very short on money, we want to make sure we use as much of the space as possible. Also, I want to change the look of my base. Let's do this one. Okay. Next, I want to start building an overview of my city. I like to always draw a middle road from my trading post around about here in the middle of the city, just so I have a better range. And I like to use what I call the blueprint mode, because if I click here, now if I were to place this down, it will actually be built. But if I press V, it will go into like sketch mode. And if you see, it will now basically have, it will not actually be built. It's just like a preview of what it will look like. So to start with, I'm going to build some, what I guess, a bit boring shapes of houses just to get started. I'm going to build a square here. This is where I will reserve some of my city center, and I will actually draw that in a shape just so I know where it is. And I'm going to build some more houses here. Then I'll leave some space for some roads. Then I will build this shape, which I will build this shape, which I actually like a lot, which you do like, I don't know what to call it, like a trapezium or something. And you come in and you put here and here. Then maybe we put another square here. This is a double road, so maybe bring it a bit forward. Great. And I'm trying to be as efficient with my space as possible. You will see down the line when we have some money, I'm not as much efficient as I look like, but I just, yeah, for the beginning, just to get some money, I kind of have to be like this. Once you hover here, you see the outlines of the roads get built for you. Now, roads cost a lot in the beginning, so what I'm doing now is a bit wasteful, to be honest, but it's fine. We'll see. We'll survive if we will survive. I'm going to play on 2 speed until this all gets sorted. Let's build a road here as well. You see this has affected this by a bit. I think I can live with it. It's fine. This tells you how much you need. I have 79 over 80. I think it's okay. Let's speak about some of the menus. At the top, we have our money, which they're steadily going down now. And once you reach 0, you reach the bankruptcy state. This is our balance. At the moment, it's minus 217, which is not good. And it tells me the breakdown and why I have minus. 200 is the land tax only. And then beyond that is the production buildings, which is maintenance. This is my total population across all islands. At the moment, I only have this island. And this is knowledge we will just speak about down the line. There's no point explaining it now. Then this becomes, down here is kind of your island specific metrics. This is my island income. At the moment, it's 0. My island population, again, at the moment, is 0. And this is my workforce. You already start with some workforce. I think you can also choose how much you start with. In this case, I think we started with 25, and 6 is used here and 4 used here. Once you build your houses, you'll see we unlock a new recipe or new demands. In this case, we have the sardines and the porridge.
New land.
Okay. The sardines, if I meet the demand, will give me 1 coin and 1 population. And the porridge, if I meet the demand, will give me +2 population. This might not mean a lot if you're new to the game, but I will explain it now. For example, if I come to this guy here and I select it, you see this is a house with a Libertus residence. At the moment, there is no population because I'm not meeting any demands. That's actually one change from the previous version of the game, the 1800, or the previous game, not previous version, where when you build a house, you already have some people living. In here, if you don't meet any of the demands, you have none of them. And you collectively have no working population. So say you have 10 people, in this case 5 of them, because it's 50%, will be a working population. Here is the demands. So you have a food supply, public service, and fashion. Once you meet all of these demands, you can upgrade your residence. These demands are kind of like big categories, and underneath there is kind of subcategories. You've got the sardines and you've got the porridge. If I meet any of the 2, I will get the master demand, or like the big demand, if you like. But there's nothing stopping you meeting both. And I like to meet both, to be honest. That's my play style. We'll try and meet the food demand, and is the sardines. Sardines are really easy. All you need to do is you have 1 every minute, and you build it. It requires harbor area, so I'll just build it next to my trading post. Again, making use of the idea that this is a warehouse, and I'm going to build a road next to it. Next thing is the porridge. The porridge is a bit more complicated in the sense that it has a chain. Things that require chains usually tell you how many you need for each one. So in this case, you can make 1 every minute, processing time 1 every minute. And this makes 1 every minute. So it's a 1-to-1 ratio. For every oat farm, you get a porridge stand. Build a porridge stand here, and next to it, I'm going to build my farm. And the farm, I really love building farms in this game. I love the way that you build the farm fields. Now you can build them like this, or you can press the middle button and change the shape into the hexagon button, which I really like. I'm a big fan of it. Especially for big farms. This is not a very big farm, but let's use it. Why not? So you see we're 48 out of 80, 67, 76, and that will do. I will put a placeholder of another fishery. So for now, I'm going to build more farms. Once you have a placeholder, a blueprint, and you press U, it shows you what you can build. And you have two choices. You can either click on it and it will build it for you, or you can click and drag and it will build more than one. Or you can press shift, and in this case, hover over and press shift, and in this case it will build all of the same buildings up to where your building supplies allow. But in this case, I just want to build a porridge. Yeah, you see the people hard at work here. They already started working. Oh, we got our first residence quest. Elipertus passes you straining under a heavy load of timber. He carries the hopeful air of one who has recently celebrated his manumission, freedom from slavery. Despite his burden, he stops and hails you as his governor. We can seize his good, which will give us minus and happiness. We don't want to start a war. Buy his supply, which will cost us 400, and we have 700 up here, and wish him well. Although 20 wouldn't be bad, I think getting this, which will cost us nothing, is fine.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. I'm not ignoring the discoveries that my ship is doing. I'll probably come to it maybe in the next episode, but yeah, we'll see. Or maybe towards the end of this episode. Let's see. The other thing I wanted to cover is, you see, some of these will only get unlocked as we get more population. And remember, the population is up here. At the moment, I have 13. And does it tell me what kind of population? It doesn't actually. But I can see it here. I have 15, and slowly they're growing. So eventually we'll get more. In this case, I'm going to actually build all of the houses as much as I can. So shift, enter. And while we wait, let's speak about our fertilities. Now, every island has fertilities. I'm not going to go through which fertility is useful just yet, because I think it's better to discover it as you go through the game. But, oh, we unlock your options. Okay, we'll come to it in a second. But generally speaking, I would say having lavender is really good, because that's something that we use, I believe, from tier 2. Grapes is used for wine, that I think tier 3 is using, and flax, I don't quite remember what is used for, probably some sort of clothing. Iron is used for weapons, which is really good, especially given that we have hard pirates around. Now, what's quite important, though, is the number of slots we have on the rivers. Now, these allows you to build specific buildings. I believe the first one you unlock is like a clay pit or something like that. So having 13 is awesome. And also the mounted slots allow for things like the aqueduct and mining and limestone and stuff like that. So we have quite a lot, which is great. I like to save views. There is a functionality in Anno where you can save this view. For example, I can do Control F3. I rebinded it. I think the default is Control F5. And now, if I go, I don't know, say I'm here and I'm looking at my ship and I'm like, oh, I need to look at my city. I can do F3 and back. I'm back here. And I think you can have up to 6 of these. And I usually, what I do all of my islands plus the NPCs, which we'll discover shortly. We'll see. I will explain when we discover them. Public services are not like what I described before, which is the demands like Sardines and Porridge and so on. They're more they're basically buildings that you can put in, and depending on their range, the people meet the demand or not. Oh, we discovered more stuff. Wow, we're advancing very quickly. What do I mean by that? So the market, first of all, it has an area effect, and anyone who is around it will get +1 income and +1 population. So you see, if I put it here, there is like green roads, which means it's the range of it. In this case, I want to put it here. And then next to it, I will put the pub, which actually has... maybe I put it like... Oh, I made a mistake here. Okay, I made a couple of mistakes here, which I need to come back and fix. So... No, I want to put it like this. Okay, let me shift this a bit, because I don't like the way I built it. Let's shift it to the right. Like here. And let's put the road here, and that means it will allow me to, oops, it will allow the pub to go like this, and it will allow this to come here. And actually maybe I put like a central road. Yep. And yeah, I think that would be great. Once I build this, which I don't have the materials for, then everyone around it or within the range that it gives us will meet the demand. Pirate is basically this, I would say, annoying guy or lady, because in the other region you have a lady that basically is just raiding you all the time unless you become friends with them, which it has the consequences that the emperor doesn't like you.
Fancy counting yourself among the winners.
He's down here. I just need to make sure my boat avoids him, which I think it does, so it's fine. Now, the island is very heavily fortified, so I wouldn't get close to it unless you have, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 ships. Actually, on my live series, I destroyed the pirate. But in this case, he's hard. On the live series, I think he was medium. But you see, soon enough, he'll start raiding us and stuff. So we need to basically prioritize building ships as soon as possible. Now, the market will give us plus income, which is great. I want to prioritize things that will give us plus income as soon as possible, because income is what we're struggling with. We started with minus 200, so we're not doing great. But soon, I think, especially with the market now, it will go up. Speaking of income, we discovered another set of requirements, the tunics and the Pileus, basically a form of clothing. Now, these both give income, so I want to prioritize building them. And they also have a unique ability where they have an area of effect. What do I mean by an area of effect? Let's have a look. Here, again, is a chain. So one hemp farm associates with one spinner. But the spinner has, as you see there, it has the need attributes plus 2 income, but also an area of effect. So what is an area of effect? If I place the spinner here, you see it has a circle, and anyone around this circle will get this area of effect that we can see down there. I would think I will build it here, and then the Pileus I will also build here. Okay, same with the Pileus. The Pileus has an income area of effect, and actually when you click on it, when you place it, it tells you how many buildings you're affecting. And by the way, you cannot double affect. You cannot stack, otherwise you'll be cheating. Now, we said that this requires hemp farms. Actually, this road we don't need. I don't know why I built it. And let's continue with the idea of building close to the warehouse. Let's put some olive trees to split the farming area. Okay, that's our first decoration. Let's do the hemp farm. Let's draw it here, and we can do this and maybe come down here. Probably this will change once we need more oats farms, but it's fine. How can you check your demands? That's your statistics screen, which is basically what you look most of the times when you're playing this game. To access it, you either click up here, or in this case, you see I keep binding it to Alt Q. I think the default is Control Q. So the statistics screen it can be intimidating, but it's actually fairly straightforward. For every good, you basically have these lines, which is the demand and the supply. The top line is the supply, so I'm supplying 1 sardine a minute, and the below is the demand. In simple terms, as long as the green is bigger than the white, you're good. That's it. And in this case, this is fine. The oats are fine. The porridge is fluctuating a bit, but I think it's fine. And the tunics has a bit of a delay. Actually, we haven't built it yet. But note that once you build it, it's not immediately coming to practice. You need to wait a bit. The other thing I will do, slowly, we will get lots and lots of timber. I mean, we use a lot because we're building like crazy now. But eventually, we will we will not be using them. So what I want to do, for any excess, I want to basically sell them. So I will say sell, and maintain. This will... wait, how do you... minimum stock, 25. And this good will be sold to other parties within designated limits. So if I will leave 20, 25, and if it's above 25, it will be sold. You can do that for all goods, actually. Sell all goods and maintain the stock to 25. You see here we have the green line that shows me that they can reach a warehouse, which is great. So for the sheep, very similar. I will come in here and I will put the Pileus sheep farm, and I will do 3 fields. 1, 2, and we started affecting actually our let's do something actually. Let's move this industry down the line. Okay, so this will allow me to do this. Oops. So then that looks a lot cleaner. Actually, we can even remove this and we can bring it down and let us build these guys. Why is promotion not possible? Oh, it needs wood for each one of them. Oh, okay, sorry, it's not a bug. I didn't realize that's the case. Let's build some more houses here. And build some more here. And maybe we can squeeze 3 here. Okay, I think... yeah, the market reaches them all. The pub doesn't, but it's fine. I think the market will be able to reach up here as well. Hopefully. If we build some more. No, let's do 2 squares. How far does the market go? I think it's starting to faint. Oh, wait, I made a mistake here. And let's do the let's do a different style, just for variety. What can we do? I mean, down the line I will change all of these, but no, this is not a very efficient style. Yeah, let's do like this. You see, there is some islands around us with different fertilities. What you want to strike for is to have a bit of everything. So, for example, Sandarak and marble is something we don't have in our... and minerals is something we don't have in our own island. So this is potentially an island we can get. Same with this one. Olives is really important. So this is probably the first island I will settle in. And because I think you need it on the second tier. They have gold, which I don't remember what you need for. They have sturgeon and they have resin, which again you need for the second tier. So basically these two are perfect because they complement each other because they don't have the same. They also have very different from our
scouts have sighted new land.
Excuse me, from our normal island, and at the same time we are very close. So this is good. I might change the path of the ship for a bit,
As do we.
just so I can find the NPCs faster because I want to start making quests. How much wood do we have? We have 4. Let's build this. And let's build some more houses. Oh, sorry, I should have built this anyway. Maybe I need another one of these.
Our scouts have sighted new land.
Because we're being bottlenecked at the moment. Yeah, let's do that. But where? That is the question. If I build it like this... Again, these are all temporary, but... Okay, that will give us some wood a lot faster. Let's have a look here. So snails is something we'll probably need, but they're a bit far. I don't know if there is another island here. It would be nice if there is another island. This is a nice big island. I'm guessing the NPCs are in the middle. Beautiful scenery of our ship passing through the fog of war. Maybe that's a nice cover. And let's build these guys. And let's build another house. Oh, awesome. Slowly we're getting closer and closer to being positive, which is what we like to hear. I'm going to start building more and more around the...
Beacons light our maps.
Hey,
And now we
Stener,
must tend
good
to
greeting.
them.
Where is she? Is she here? Yeah, she's here. Okay. Where is she? Oh, here.
Apparently, we share some common principles.
Okay. So. Oh, she has the island with the ark. I really love this island. I wish I had it. Okay. Her fertilities are not great.
Our scouts have sighted new
She already
land.
started building. She's a bit slow, actually. Oh, she already has quests for us.
1,000 lamps.
Okay,
surveying
so
every
quests,
alcove, every
as a bit of a
nook,
tip,
every cranny.
it's a very good way to get started, to get some money right on. I think I will do this one. Where are the crates? There is one here, and there is one here. Okay, let's divert and go and do this. Get this, and then get this. And what I like is you can press this, and then it will let me know once it finishes. Quests are really good to do in the beginning because it's very unlikely you will reach positive or very high positive. So getting essentially raw capital is the only way to go. So let's get more houses around the flag spinner. And you see we can already upgrade, but I'm not going to do that just yet. I want to steadily meet all of the demands. How are we doing with demands? Looking good, looking good. The Pileus is about to start suffering. Same with the Tunics, which is unfortunate. We might need to build another one here or something. But you see, you cannot override it, which makes sense, I guess. We could actually build one down here to affect these buildings. Yeah, let's placeholder one. Let me shift these guys once. And let's placeholder one guy here and one of Tunics down here. At least to kind of have it. Or maybe...
Our scouts have
Yeah,
sighted
it's not very
new
nice, but
land.
it's fine. Why are you not getting any... Oh, is it this issue again? No. No warehouses in... Oh, okay. I messed up. Sorry if you were screaming at me at the top of your voice, but yeah, I messed up. There is no road here. Okay. There we go. Problem solved. And continue here and continue here. I like to mix farms like this. Some people hate it, but I like it. We found Diana.
Literally dying to get back to Rome.
Okay, shush. So Diana is like this posh lady who is the representative of the Emperor. And she's basically an NPC in the sense that she sells us stuff. And you can also sell her stuff to get some money. So maybe that's something we can work towards. Build some pigs to send to her. However, and she also gives us ships down the line. And ooh, she's selling an epic and a legendary. But yeah, we don't have that kind of money. And she also gives us quests. So what I will do, I will save this as F5. Let's do the timber quest. Eventually we'll be able to do it. So let's make it 50. Just so we can... minimum stock we don't actually need here. Well, maybe we need like a 10. But yeah, set it to 50. And once we get 27, we will do that quest. So F5, accept that quest. That's quite a lot of money. As we're coming close to the end of this episode, I'm going to do one final thing. I'll summarize actually. Basically, we essentially met all of our demands, give or take, minus the pub because I haven't built it yet. And what we're going to focus next is we're going to focus on completing some quests. I mean, we are positive, which is a huge big thing, but we're going to focus on completing some quests so we can get some raw money or some capital. Then we will build this and we'll probably start looking at tier 2. I know my pace is a bit fast, but to be honest, I think it's fine. It might come as fast, or maybe I'm super slow. But let me know in the comments if you want me to go slower and so on. But obviously, given that this is on YouTube, you can go back to it. And once we stabilize with money, I will start looking at actually decorating our town a bit. And look at as Santa is flying over our great city. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you like this series. At the moment, my plan is to post this twice. I will let you know probably in the second or third episode on the days, but for now it will be probably on Mondays and Fridays. And depending on the demand, I might adjust it and so on. And yeah, if you like the series, please leave a comment below. It really helps me understand how you're feeling about it. It helps the algorithm. And if nothing else, it's just nice to hear your feedback, whether it's bad or good. Thank you again. Enjoy the rest of your evening or morning or whatever time is when you're joining us. And yeah, I will see you in the next episode of Anno 117 Pax Romana. See ya.